Tonight, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union cracks down on rogue drivers in a major operation to address transport challenges in Accra, arresting 15 drivers accused of charging multiple fares.
We've arrested about 15 vehicles, but the fact is, you see, all the vehicles that were arrested, among the 15 vehicles, it was only one vehicle that belongs to a union. And we normally say that these things that are going on, most of the vehicles don't belong to any of the union.
However, some arrested drivers claim the arrests were unjustified, arguing they hadn't charged multiple fares at the time, raising questions about the legal basis for the arrests.
Having charged anyone double fare, it's normal fare that I usually charge, and having been overpricing my fare, I mean, I see it to be unfair.
We have details here on Top Story, as always, brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil Enjoy, Holy Sleep, and by Short Pension. Trust into the future with you. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Well, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, is cracking down on rogue drivers in the street of Ablekuma. Here in Accra, a dramatic showdown unfolded as the GPRTU swooped in and arrested 15 drivers accused of charging multiple fares. The GPRTU says the move is part of effort to tackle driver indiscipline and address transport challenges in the capital city. The union's task force has pitched camp at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, 37 and other surrounding areas to fish out offending drivers. The National Guards Commander, Doremond Eko-Gezi, says the union is taking tougher steps to curb illegal operations. And you remember, this is coming up days or amidst challenges of passengers getting transport to your various destinations.
And then I want to say, on arrest that we have made now is about the unlawful entering. One, some of them do overcharge, and then some of them also do take short distance. Instead of going to maybe from Awoshi to Kaneshi, he will tell you he's going to Ablekuma or Anya, then he will drop you there, and then the same person will continue the same journey again. And this is why, especially these drivers here today, you are seeing, they are the short men which we have arrested now. My brother, will you believe if you have nothing doing, we can arrest you? Like some of the drivers are telling me now, he was going to purchase what they call it is roadworthy. Roadworthy doesn't concern anything at the lorry park, you see. So if you tell me you are going for your roadworthy, it is not justifiable, because you were mentioning Odoko, Kanishi, you see. Meanwhile, you are not in that dereliction, so you can't tell me it is not justified. We are here to hand over to the police for the police to take action, and our officers are also here. So I think the next procedure is the officers and the police.
I heard earlier that these drivers will be processed for court. Is that the case?
Exactly true.
You think this will be deterrent enough to maybe stopping other drivers from doing this?
I am sure you also believe it is going to happen, because when some of these people are seen on the national daily that this is what's happening, they are not going to do.
But would you do more operations apart from this, this place?
We are hitting another place this evening, but if I mention, they will be alert. So we are hitting another place this evening, and it will be continuation.
So that's the National Guards Commander, Eko-Gezi, speaking there to my colleague, Fatau Bayaga. But Deputy Spokesperson of the GPRTU, Samuel Amwa, also mounted a strong defense for the operations.
We've arrested about 15 vehicles, but the fact is, you see, all the vehicles that were arrested, among the 15 vehicles, it was only one vehicle that belongs to a union. And we normally say that these things that are going on, most of the vehicles don't belong to any of the union. That is why it's very difficult for us, because we've been advising them about some of these things. So we think that it's going to help, and we are not doing it only for today. It's going to be continuing, not only on the Ablekuma, stretch. We are going to go to all the other areas, all these areas that we found all these things happening. We are going to go there, and we'll make sure that all the drivers will comply. And what we are saying is, you see, the law states clearly that before you be allowed to operate as a commercial transport operator, you must belong to an existing transport union. The Road Traffic Act, LI 2180, Regulation 121, stated it clearly. So we've been telling the police all this while that they have to, implement this law, making sure that there will be an enforcement. Then all those vehicles that don't belong to any of the union, they join the unions, so that all these problems will be solved. So I believe that since the GPRTU, the Greater Accra, has taken it upon themselves to, embark on this, operations, I believe all the other regions, we are going to hit all those places, making sure that every driver must belong to an existing transport union. We are not saying all of them should come and join GPRTU, but we have other unions so that we can be able to regulate them. In case of any sensitization, education and all that, we know they are whereabouts, then we can, go there to educate them. So this is what we are doing, and we think that this is going to help the public.
So that's Deputy Spokesperson for the GPRTU, Samuel Amwa, speaking to us there. However, the arrested drivers claim the arrests were unjustified. Now, they say they hadn't charged multiple fares at the time of the arrest. This has sparked a debate about whether the GPRTU has the authority to make such arrests.
This is not true, because I haven't charged anyone double fare. It's normal fare that I usually charge, and having been overpricing my fare. I mean, I see it to be unfair, because they call themselves as union. Even if you call yourself as union, at least your members is us. So you have to call us and negotiate with us. Okay, this is what government has brought. So we need to all negotiate and tell your people that, we should do it this way, we should do it this way.
Oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. What they are doing, we say we do understand. Yes, as our right, we do our sales 600 cedis. For daily sales, 600 cedis. And the whole day we are going to work like 1,003 or 1,004. When you load from Ablekuma to La Paz, what you get is like 60 Ghana or 70 cedis. And you are going to pay ticket like 30 cedis from Ablekuma to La Paz. You are going to pay ticket like 40 cedis. Before you reach, I'm going to Awish Market. If you know that you are not going to Awish Market, don't enter my motor. It's the motor they will take it to me. I don't care.
So some of the drivers speaking to us concerning this development of some drivers being arrested, allegedly over unfair pricing there. My colleague Fatao Bayaga has been monitoring the team, has been with them since morning, and joins me on the telephone lines with more. Fatao, can you tell us where you are currently and what's going on there, whether or not some drivers or more drivers have been arrested so far? Okay, so we will get Fatao for us to get details of this particular development. We want to find out from him whether or not some more drivers have been arrested and how drivers are reacting to this particular operation. We will also bring on board Abbas Yimoro of the GPRTU to speak to more. Fatao, let's know where you are and what's happening, whether or not more drivers have been arrested. Hello, Fatao. Okay, we'll try and get Fatao Bayaga so we can have a chat with him. But some more questions, or other people are asking, is this in relation to the recent transportation challenges we've seen about people not getting transport to work? There were allegations that, the drivers are parking their vehicles to create an artificial shortage there. Fatao, do I have you? Great.
Yes.
Great. So tell us where you are and what's happening there now.
Bruce, I am standing in front of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, where the GPRTU has decided to pitch calm in terms of hunting for drivers who are, charging unapproved fares and also what they call shorts. So this evening, this is where they are. And during the day, they've been operating and relentlessly to address this particular issue. In fact, they say that they arrested about 17 drivers. Initially, it was 15. The other 2 drivers, and those 2 drivers were discharged because the crimes were minor. And the other 15 drivers, according to them, will be processed for court based on their conversation with the police. And they came here in their numbers, and according to them, some of the truck operators, when they saw their uniform, they began to respect the rules. In fact, one of the officers said that he was here yesterday at the same time, and the challenge, the issue was glary. Drivers were charging unapproved fares, among others. So they decided to bring the operation here today in order to tackle that. They came and because the drivers saw their uniforms, they decided to change. That, and they are now respecting the rules. But let me speak with the National Guards commander of the GPRTU, who is still here with me. You have been working since morning. How would you describe your operations so far?
So far this evening, it has been good and successful. And I see when they saw the uniform, some of the drivers, when they saw the uniform, they are trying to respect the rules, like you said. And then the ones who are trying not to respect, those are the ones I think we are getting them now. So as time goes on, we'll still be moving around to check from time to time, and then moving from spot to another spot. That is what we're trying to do now. From now tomorrow, we are just moving tomorrow to Sotum, somewhere there. We don't want to, if we mention it and it's been clear on the air, maybe they'll be careful there. So we don't just want to disclose wherever we want to go. But when we get there, we will have the press call for the information so that they can come and join us.
Do you suspect that if you live here, these drivers would return to their old ways? You, in fact, entered one of the public transport, one of the buses. In fact, you wanted to be sure that these drivers were either charging unapproved fares or not. But you are saying that you want to leave here at the moment. Don't you think that if you leave, they will return to that old ways of charging people?
I am not sure they can go back to that charges, simply because the thermal station is just close to the metro area here, and the guards are still around there. So you cannot charge. And I am sure what they've seen now, the guards running within the area, it has scared them. Yes, so I think the discipline will be there.
Thank you very much. So that's the National Guards Commander of the GPRTU, Durham Echo Gacy there. So, Brace, at the moment, even though I've seen a lot of passengers all around, but I'm also seeing so many government buses, arriving here to transport or convey these passengers to their various destinations. So for this place, because of the many government buses, I based on what I'm seeing, the plight of the commuters has been ameliorated a bit. Sometimes it gets so worse, but because of this particular initiative by the government, it is helping to, in a way, address the challenges of the commuters at the moment.
But a bit of clarity there. If you say government buses, what buses are you seeing?
So these buses, it's written on them, Smart Transit, and I'm told that these buses work under the Ayalulu. That's the Greater Accra Transport Executive. That's what I'm told at the moment. And the motive is to make sure that they address the plight of commuters. And every evening they come here and they simply transport passengers to their various destinations. I just want to try to speak with some of the people who are getting ready to board one of the buses right here. I can see a long queue though. So let me try and see if I can engage.
Well, Fatau, I wanted to find out from you how the drivers are reacting. So as you speak to these passengers, let's also understand how the drivers are reacting to this sort of policing by the National Guards.
But the queue, Grace, is quite long. I'm seeing a lot of people here. Miss, good evening. Thank you so much. You are live on Joy FM. Where are you going to?
I'm going to
OEB. Yeah. All right. So I've seen a bus arriving. Is it going to a direction?
Yes. No. This one is going to Yarifat. The next one that is coming is going to my direction.
But this happens every day.
It happens always. Sometimes you struggle.
Yeah. And I'm told that private transport operators charge unapproved fares. Is that the case here?
They charge only the correct one. But the other one, they charge whatever they like.
So you can spend so much time waiting for this.
Yes, and sometimes you'll be late. Sometimes we'll be here.
So you can wait here 7 because.
Yes.
Fatah, if you can hear me, your line keeps breaking. If you can reposition yourself so that we can hear what the passenger is saying.
So quite long, and they say that they're waiting for this public bus, even if it's going to take hours to come, they'll wait for it because the private transport operators, what they do is that they charge unapproved fares, and their hope now is to wait for these buses. But let me try and speak to some passengers or commuters here. Hello, thank you very much. You are live on Joe FM. I see that you are in a long queue. You must be frustrated, I know.
Yeah, I'm very much frustrated.
Talk to me about that.
So I just go here, but then I just learned that there are other passengers or wherever boys who are fighting over the queue. It was a long queue though, but then they were trying to jump out of it and then just go and enter them.
So that's my colleague Fatao Bayaga there, who is gauging the mood or monitoring how the National Guard is going about arresting or checking that drivers charge the right fares. We've been joined on the line by the spokesperson for the GPRTU, Abasi Moro. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining us here. Earlier, your deputy spokesperson lent support to this particular operation. I don't know whether or not you have also monitored it, and I want to find out from you how successful you think this operation has been today.
Well, good evening to listeners. And if we have the Assembly Task Force and the police in addition to be more successful than we have even started today.
But is this sustainable?
Come again?
I'm asking whether or not this operation to ensure that drivers charge normal fares is sustainable. How sustainable is this?
Yes, and not even only the normal fare. You just can't even buy your vehicle and just put it on the road. If you look at the laws of the land, it's in the LI 21, if you look at Regulation 121, you have to belong to a union society or a transport company so that you could be identified where exactly you are working from and where to, so that you might not be cheating the general public by creating this short. All the assemblies we registered with the assemblies, and the assemblies have given us our routes that we have applied for, it has been approved. So you just can't pick your vehicle and be picking people anyhow or from anywhere to anywhere at all you deem necessary. That is not the law. So this is also part of what our people are doing.
I get it, but I want to find out from you how sustainable it will be, because you can't always be on the road, can you?
Yes.
Mr. Moro, can you hear me?
Come again.
I want to find out from you how sustainable this will be, because you can't always be on the road.
As long as the people haven't changed, we shall be on the road. But if they change and we go back to the previous days where we are working peacefully, picking people without cheating them, then we also relax.
Okay, so it means that as long as they do it, your task force will also be on the road.
Our people will be on the road, yes.
Is it a countrywide action or just in Accra?
Countrywide, but we started in Accra. You know, when anything at all we do in Accra is spread to other regions as well.
So whatever you do, it's not just assuring that checking that they charge normal fares, but also ensuring that they belong to a union. If you don't, you arrest the person.
Yes, that is the law. Check the LR 21. It's go to Regulation 121. If you read, you understand what I'm saying more better.
All right. Do stay with me. Let me bring in the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council, Emmanuel Ohinyeboah. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining. Mr. Eboah. Hello, Mr. Eboah.
Yes.
Great. I'm sure you followed the activity that the GPRTU is doing. Does this have your blessing as a coordinating council?
Well, thank you very much. I think as far as that operation is concerned, it was a mutual agreement. We all came together at a meeting to form a task force in that to do that to deal with that issues. But it's unfortunate our people have taken the start without actually bringing us to notice. But no, it's all well. It's all well and good. but it's a decision we all agreed to embark.
So when you decided to do it, what was your objective? What did you want to achieve?
Well, we're trying to discourage people from doing this fair breaking transit and also doing overcharging during the peak hours. So it was a decision we all took together.
The GPRTU say that they are arresting people who don't belong to any union. Is that something that was agreed to as well?
Well, I don't think that is part of our operational mandate. But it is the law encourages everybody to belong to a union. So if you have extended to that level, well, I can't say much. Maybe the minister will be able to speak to that because since we give the marching orders.
Yeah, but you are part of the coordinating council. If the GPRTU doesn't have the right to arrest people for not belonging to any union, then of course,
well,
are you going to order them to order?
We are looking. I think the main objective of this task force formation was not for that purpose. Was to immediately bring sanity into the transport operations where drivers do a thought kind of travel, and also decide to charge over and above the fares during the peak hours. So I don't think it's part of the mandate, though. But the law requires that everybody who operates should operate within certain union space.
Stay with me. Let me get some legal education from legal practitioner Martin Pegui. Martin, does the GPRTU have the right to arrest people, for example, or drivers for not belonging to a union? Because according to them, the law mandates that if you're a transport operator, you need to belong to a union. Does GPRTU as a union have the right to be arresting drivers for not belonging?
Oh, no. That one generally is not part of the laws of Ghana. When you arrest like that, then that presupposes that there's a criminal offense. And our laws, Article 19, Clause 11, makes it clear that when you arrest somebody, there must be an offense. And that offense, that presupposes that the offense must have been written down in law. So if it has not been written down in law, that's when it says written down in law, it means it's been approved by Parliament, right, etc. Then it is not an offense. So not belonging to a union is not a criminal offense.
But they say the law mandates that every transport operator must belong to a union. That's the education they are giving us tonight.
No, but that's saying that belong to a union. It's not ipso facto saying that if you don't belong to a union, you've committed a criminal offense. Okay. The two are separate. Okay. So let's give a typical example, and let's say, let's take married couple. If one was to cheat, okay, on the other partner, it's reprehensible. It's not allowed. You can get a divorce for it. So you see that you, based upon the cheating, the circumstances, if you can't live with it, you can go to court and get a divorce, right? But it is not a criminal offense that you can go to the police station or take your wife or your husband to the police station that I've caught him cheating, so deal with him according to law. No, that's not for police. If you can't live with it, then you will take it to a family court and then get a divorce. So that's one example. There are many other things. So usually you have to ask, what has the law said is the consequence of breaching that rule? So if they say belong to a union and you don't belong to that union, does it ipso facto then make it an offense that you should be taken to the police station, prepared, and then put before a court of law?
Okay. What about arresting drivers for charging illegal fares?
Yes, that one, what it does is that there's this provision we have in the Criminal Offences Act for that section 207, conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. So when there are rules to be obeyed by everybody in the society, and then one person goes contrary to them, even though it may not be a criminal offense. But if that conduct, what you're doing by breaching the rules, so in this case, a driver charging tot, you see the anxiety and the commotion it is causing our society. Yes, that's a conduct conducive to the breach of the peace, because you see the commuters shouting, driver, no, we will not accept this, we will not accept this. Look, you must do the full journey. And yet these tot drivers insist on truncating their journey in the middle and saying that's the end of the journey, etc. Okay. And some would even degenerate into fights, but it doesn't need to degenerate into an actual fight. The commotion, the confusion, the protestations in that environment, that's conduct that's conducive to the breach of the peace. Because when there is peace, generally all is calm. But when your conduct is causing those protestations and shoutings and all that, then that behavior of doing the tot, I believe, can be brought under Section 207, which is conduct conducive to the breach of the peace. And most especially when people begin to pounce on the drivers who are in the tot business. But as I say, you need not escalate or degenerate to the extent of beating those people. Once those protestations and the the commotion comes in, that should be sufficient.
Martin, I'm grateful to you for the education you've given us. Ms. Imoro, you've heard the lawyer and the General Secretary of the Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council also say that you don't have the power to arrest drivers just because they don't belong to unions. Why are you still doing that? Okay, unfortunately, we've lost Abashimodo. Let me bring in Kennedy Nyako there. He is ranking member on the Roads and Transport Committee of Parliament. Honorable, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Has this come to your attention that some drivers who are charging unfairly or illegal fares are being arrested? What does your committee make of this?
Well, thank you very much for having me on your show, and a very good evening to your cherished listeners as well. Well, it's quite unfortunate that some 15 drivers have been arrested. I have tried very hard to look for what law permits the GPRTU task force to arrest those drivers. As you speak, there are no laws for any GPRTU, any union to arrest, not even the police to arrest any commercial transport operator for charging, overcharging any price. There's no law. Ghana operates mixed economy. There's a private economic freedom mixed with government, a little government, a minimal government interventions. Okay? So if someone belongs to a union and the union feels that that driver or that operator is charging unfair prices, the only thing is for the union to withdraw either their membership or suspend them.
But we're just getting education that according to the criminal law, if an action is going to mar the peace of the country, yes, someone has a right to arrest them, and that's why this is right.
What action is going to mass? I mean, it's a free market economy.
That once this is happening, people are being agitated.
I have a mobile phone. I have a mobile phone, and I'm selling. You also have a mobile phone you are selling. We are all selling, let's say, an iPhone 17. One decides to sell your phone for maybe 3,000. The other say, I want 2,000. It's an open economy. You decide, you choose which side that you want. But like I'm saying, there is no law that prevents or that restricts any operator. We are not in the PNDC era where they say, those days they were talking about Kalabule prices and all those things. We've long past that. That is why there's a competition in the market.
But isn't that why we have a committee that sets up to determine prices? So all of us will charge fair pricing and not, use our power to decide how much we will charge.
I agree with you that once we have set the baseline prices that we all want to charge, we may want to follow it to charge it. You will see some drivers who want to charge higher than those. It happened even during the previous administration. It is not new. At the time that even STC and other transport operators were charging lower prices, other transport operators, VIP and the rest, they were charging a little bit higher than what STC and other operators were charging for the same distance. Okay? But the previous administration used a human face and dialogue in solving this problem. You don't go arresting people because you think the people are overcharging, and that is not an approach I expect the GPRTU or government to use in resolving this matter.
So will your committee intervene?
Well, it's a developing story. I just read about it. I heard about it today. We are on recess. We are going back on the 3rd of February. It is a matter of public interest, which maybe I may want to confer with the chairman of the committee to see if we need to. Already, we had discussions to be inviting the minister on this shortage of commercial transport in town. We have plans to invite the minister to come and brief the committee. So maybe you may want to add this one to it. But like I'm saying, I don't think this high-handedness approach of resolving the matter or trying to coerce the drivers will help. It will not help. It will rather aggravate the situation.
I'm grateful to you. Kennedy Nyakosa is MP for Akim Swedru and ranking member for the Roads and Transport Committee. That has been top story. Brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Short Pension Trust. Up next is Newsnight.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter Angela.
Meba Kojo, I sure why. Tea cash naba. No papa ina dawasi.
Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello sir, Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly. My dear ones,
we keep the connection stronger when our family, friends, and business relations are happy. Live on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks, and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spinach Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Gensa Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is a story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh. At 18, Mr. Mensah got his first student mattress. It was hard and unyielding, just what he thought he needed. At 46, he chose a mattress that was too soft and did not provide him adequate support. Now at 66, when you hear Mr. Mensah coming, he groans and croaks. Now he needs a chiropractor. The choices you make catch up with you. Talk to a comfort expert at Latex Foam to help you choose from pocketed spring mattresses to orthopedic and high-density foam mattresses tailored for your age, posture, and body type. And now, Latex Foam is even more. From home to office furniture that has your back, Latex Foam has a range of durable products that give you total comfort for a healthier life. View our full product range on our new interactive website at latexfoamghana.com or visit Latex Foam showrooms nationwide to speak to a comfort expert. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
On Newsnight tonight, MPP flag bearer hopeful Kwabena Japan sends out emotional appeal to former Finance Minister Ken Ofori to voluntarily return to Ghana to clear his name.
I feel very sad. Things happen like this. It's the immediate family that I worry about. I lost my dad when I was very young, so I don't think about him. I think about his children. I don't know. I feel how they feel, the wife and all that.
You had the courage to watch yesterday, a lot of...
No, I didn't watch. I can't watch to bring tears into my eyes.
Meanwhile, Ghana's Attorney General has backed the U.S. process to deport the former Finance Minister, expressing confidence Mr. Ofori will be removed from the U.S.
So far, I don't find anything wrong with what has, taken place. I monitored the hearing yesterday, and I have had reports from the United States.
Also tonight, largest oil marketing company Star Oil suspends membership of Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies with immediate effect.
Because today, if you scrap the floor price, believe me, due to the number of OMCs and the competition, we cannot guarantee that we are going to see a sanity. It's going to see sanity in the industry.
We have more on this developing story shortly. Also, majority in Parliament shoots down calls for the removal of Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Smith, dismissing the demands as baseless and politically motivated.
I don't think this is the time to call for the removal of the Minister for Foreign Affairs.
It's unfortunate. Next time, if you want to do a press conference, don't use such words on a colleague, particularly your senior and all of that.
We'll bring you the minorities' response on the matter in business.
We'll be bringing you some industry reactions to Star Oil suspension from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies.
And later in sports,
Joy FM sets stage for big workout 2026 at the University of Ghana Stadium.
You can join us with your comments via our WhatsApp line 055-111197. This is Newsnight. I am Pearl Ofori.
And my name is Evan Spencer. Tonight we start with that rolling story around the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori, and tonight we're hearing from MPP flag bearer hopeful Kwabena Japan, who has sent out an emotional appeal to the former Finance Minister to surrender to Ghanaian authorities and return to clear his name. Mr. Ofori yesterday appeared for the first time before a U.S. immigration judge in a last-ditch attempt to secure bail after being held behind bars for 2 weeks. He has been detained for violating the terms of his visa and is now an illegal immigrant to the United States of America facing deportation. He is also wanted in Ghana on several counts of corruption and corruption-related offences for which the Ghanaian government has filed formal extradition papers with the U.S. Now, speaking in a yet-to-be-heard interview on PM Express, Kwabena Japan appealed to Mr. Ofori to surrender.
Yeah, something that happened yesterday and has been playing out the last few weeks. I need to get your reaction too. A stalwart of your party served you.
Yeah.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori was before the courts yesterday in the USA. Considering the fact that he served in your party as your finance minister for that long, what do you make of his predicaments? How does it reflect on the values that you
I feel very sad. I feel very sad. And it's difficult to sometimes understand what is happening. Because, you know, a finance minister is a very major position. And it doesn't tell on us all well when the whole world is being told that our finance minister is not prepared to come home. You know, I don't know the details, but like I said, I find it very sad. That's why I want to encourage all politicians that power is transient. Let's go and act in the best interest of our people. And so therefore, when, you know, time is up for you to account for your stewardship, there won't be issues such as this, you know, because things happen like this. Is the immediate family that I worry about, you know. Like I said, I lost my dad when I was very young, so I don't think about him, I think about his children. I don't know, I feel how they feel, the wife and all that. That is what I feel for.
Did you have the courage to watch yesterday a lot of...
No, I didn't watch. I don't do that. I can't watch to bring tears into my eyes. He was not exactly my friend per se, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the last person to kick people when they're on the ground. And as I told you much earlier, I gyrate towards people who are under pressure. And that's why I came out openly against the special prosecutor when he issued the first police, whatever it was.
The Interpol red notice.
Because I felt that was completely irresponsible. Because if you haven't charged the person, you haven't sent the person to court, and people have been tried in absentia. So what is this obsession? You know, is it that you want to physically bring him, humiliate him and all? How do we benefit? And again, I keep telling those in power now, you have a big responsibility. Focus on what you're doing. Deliver it for the Ghanaian people. I'm not saying that when people have misconducted themselves, you can't, but you can't chase everybody. You look too far behind, you lose your future. You may punish one or two senior people to send a strong signal to even your own government that we don't want anybody tinkering with the public treasury. You know, but this obsession with let's punish.
Would you advise him to voluntarily return?
If I had his ear.
You would have told him to?
Yeah, yes. I mean, what he's been through has already been hurtful for me as a person.
So he should simply come back?
Yeah.
Return?
Whatever happens, happens. You know, whatever happens, happens. Because I don't see him as a person, I see him as a father who has children who are hurting because of this international embarrassment. And once I place myself that way, then I feel it. That's me.
And you want to catch that across our social media platforms and watch the emotions swell through him as he talked about Ken Oforiatta's current plight and how that compares with his own situation when he lost his father. Meanwhile, the Attorney General, Dominic Ayine, has backed the U.S. process to deport Ken Oforiatta, and he's expressing confidence he will be removed from the U.S.
The American authorities are handling the process and they are handling it in accordance with American law. So far, I don't find anything wrong with what has taken place. As you rightly pointed out, I monitored the hearing yesterday, and I have had reports from the United States regarding what has happened and what may happen, but these are confidential discussions, and I'm not supposed to talk to the media about what they have briefed me on.
Yesterday, the trial judge said something. He said there's no proof of any extradition request and that it should be filed by the federal government before February 19. What is your own thoughts on that?
No, the Justice Department is working on the extradition request. Now, you have to understand that what is happening now is in relation to immigration immigration law violations. All right, that is separate and distinct from the extradition request. And so, if it was put in before the the immigration judge that there's an extradition request, he wants a formal, filing before him. So the Justice Department would have to do that before a decision is taken.
When will that happen, based on your contact?
No, I don't control what happens with the Justice Department in the U.S. So,
but are you hopeful that this will go through for Ken to come back to Ghana?
I am very hopeful, extremely hopeful.
Well, a while ago, tensions flared between a member of Ken Ofori's legal team and convener of pressure group Arise Ghana, Bernard Mona, with Frank Davis accusing the group of making disparaging comment about his client. During their ongoing demonstration, the group in the last 2 days has been picketing at the American embassy here in Accra to pile pressure on the U.S. government to expedite the former finance minister's extradition process. Well, Ken Ofori, after appearing before U.S. Immigration Court Judge David Gade in the Bonny hearing case, was remanded back into ICE custody after his lawyers failed to secure his bail. Well, listen to U.S.-based immigration lawyer Janelle Oklu explain exactly what the process entails.
To be clear, I know that, it was stated that today was his deportation hearing, but in fact, that's not actually so. What was happening today was a redetermination of his bond hearing, is what I got. So essentially, his lawyers had previously requested for him to be released on bond. What his lawyers are trying to do is basically to get him out of detention. He's detained. I'm sure he's very uncomfortable in his current situation, and they just want to get him out. They want him to be able to, return home for the rest of this process instead of essentially being, in detention, as you see him there in his uniform, in the jumpsuit. So the lawyers had previously requested it. It was denied. And so today was a redetermination. So his lawyers are requesting once again for the judge to allow him to be released on bond. So that was what today's hearing was. The other thing is the next step would have been, if we could have been, able to hear, but unfortunately, it's in camera, we couldn't see any further. The next step would have been the master calendar hearing. The master calendar hearing is the hearing where basically the charges against him are brought. And I'm talking about immigration charges. The immigration charges against him are brought. We are not getting into criminal issue or the extradition.
Well, the case, as we know, has been adjourned to April 27, with the U.S. state attorneys expected to submit the Ghana government's extradition request to the court by February 19. Member of Ken Ofori's legal team, Frank Davis, has been providing some clarification on this, and he says the court is set to make a determination on the bail application, rather, on the 19th of February. He spoke on the pulse with Faustina Safo.
The judge was compelled to adjourn the proceedings for a period of 30 days for them to reappear on the 19th of February to contest the bond application there. So those are the two conflicts. 19th of February is for the constitution of the argument or submissions for the bail, and 27th of February is for the prosecution of notice to appear proceedings.
On the 19th of February, does it mean Ken will still have to appear before the court, or this is just legal documentation that the U.S. authorities will have to provide to the court without the presence of Ken Ofori?
To appear in court, nonetheless. He has to appear in court. So it will be in court with the lawyers.
So will his bail condition or application for bail be determined on that 19th of February, or will that be determined on the 27th of April?
The bond or bail application will be determined on the 19th of February. The 27th of April is for the continuation of the NTA, which has to do with the adjustment of his immigration status. So the 19th of February is solely for the bond application.
Impel, as you know, in the last 2 days, there have been protests at the U.S. Embassy here in Accra, piling pressure on the U.S. government to expedite the deportation or extradition of Ken Ofori. Well, we've been hearing today from some of these protesters. First, we'll hear from Frank Davis pretty shortly, but listen to the demands put forth today by some of these protesters.
To come here, sit on the floor at the U.S. Embassy and plead to Ken, please come. Because apart from maybe Baumia being our burden, you're also carrying the party's shame. So come and release us from this shame, because we are going on primaries and all Ghanaians are saying you've taken our money. The money that Ken has stolen or taken, he has deprived so many Ghanaians and the youth from jobs, medicals, roads, everything. So this demonstration is a concern to every Ghanaian, every market woman. Apart from Ken collapsing bank, he tortured people individual, but you understand.
You know the state of our roads in this country, very deplorable. We believe that there are answers that we need to know how the monies were used and where the monies that we anticipate has been stolen are. It's as simple as that. And the people that you see on the road, they are the owners of this country. Remember, our constitution says that the sovereignty of this country resides in the people. And when we say the people, these are the people. And they are the people calling for accountability. And let me tell you that in the days coming, the numbers will be larger than this. They must not take this exercise to be one of those things. And this is why we entreat the American people to be very serious with the Ghanaian. They must not create the impression that they are shielding corrupt officials from Africa. They have been talking about accountability. If Ghanaians are pushing for accountability, they must be the first country to support us to make sure that accountability happens. So it's a good thing, and we believe that they will heed to our call.
We can now listen to Frank Davis's reaction to the picketing.
You make such hateful, such pernicious, and such invidious remarks about someone who has not even said a word in court. Ken has not even been tried. He hasn't had any say in court. So if people like Hobsonador, who is supposed to be a responsible officer in a political party, talks this way, you think Ken doesn't have reason to be apprehensive, because he's been condemned in the court of public opinion. Where like he has stolen money, he is a thief, but he has stolen money. Has Ken been tried? You know, sometimes I also tell you before, you should, when they talk that way on your radio station, you should be concerned too. Obstinador, if he was being taken through this drill, he will be happy. He is Ghanaian. Ken is from Papua New Guinea. Ken is from Afghanistan. Ken is from Pakistan. But he hopes is a full Ghanaian. So the right that he has, Ken doesn't have. Somebody who has not been tried, and you make such prejudicial, judgmental comments about him, and it's unfortunate and unfair. And the lady who was talking about Ken, look, listen to me. We were all told by Ambassador Smith that there will be extradition proceedings in respect of Sedinam Tamako today. Obsunador and the life of him and Arise Ghana, they are not petitioning the American embassy for Sedinam Tamako to be brought. Somebody who has been tried in a criminal court of contempt is convicted of stealing money that belongs to the state. Obsunador is not interested in that. The lady, I don't know her name, she said she's deputy to Obsunador. She is not interested. I mean, such selectivity, carelessness, manifest disingenuity, disingenuous conduct coming from Ghanaians.
Bernard Mona has been reacting to this.
Well, what else could I have said to Frank Davis than to say that he is within his legal right to speak the way he speaks? The choice of his words are for him to do. But he doesn't have any right to warn me as to the choice of what I want to do. If he thinks that I have committed anything abominable, Frank, you know the way to the courts. That have been your mantra, and the mantra should not change. If I have said anything that you think is not acceptable, you represent somebody who, in my opinion, has put your integrity into the gappers. You were telling the whole world that your client was sick and that the reason why he is not coming to Ghana is because of ill health, and that when he is treated, he will be in Ghana. You should be ashamed and worried that your client is now well and is choosing other routes not to be in Ghana. You are not concerned about the reputational issues. Go and review your various media interviews across this country, where you proclaimed that your client, when he is well, he will come. Letters and upon letters, responses to OSB and other institutions were to the effect that the reason why your client is not in Ghana is because of ill health. Now that he has been in detention at the ICE facility, is that a medical facility? Is that a medical facility? The levels of accusations that we have made, if they are untrue, he should be determined to come to Ghana to come and respond, so that even your little image that you have put on the line for him, you will be saved. Frank Davis, you can't be saying the things you are saying anytime. Who should desist from what? And you cannot desist.
And that there is a very feisty exchange between Bernard Mona and Frank Davis. So live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. And to a story that has been breaking in the last 45 minutes or so, the oil marketing companies appear to be in complete turmoil now, with Star Oil Limited, which is the biggest player in the association. They've pulled out of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, escalating the growing rift over Ghana's controversial petroleum price floor. They have a statement out, and my colleague Papania Shale joins us in the studio right now with details of this. Why has this happened?
Well, they tell us that in a two-page statement that this decision has not been taken lightly, and the Star Oil has, over the years, they tell us that has been a committed and responsible member of COMAC and is currently the largest financial contributor to COMAC. They tell us that they have consistently supported the Chamber's activities in the belief that COMAC exists to fairly represent the collective interests of its members while allowing space for diverse and well-intentioned views on matters of policy and regulation. However, recent development have compelled them, Star Oil, to reassess the value of their continued membership. In particular, Star Oil is deeply concerned that despite their significant contribution to the Chamber, their perspectives, especially on critical industry issues, are neither adequately acknowledged nor fairly communicated. And a clear recent example relates to public discussions by the Chief Executive Officer of COMAC across several media platforms concerning the petroleum price floor, and says that they, Star Oil, have proposed that the price floor be scrapped. Unfortunately, in these public engagements, the rationale behind the Star Oil's position has not been clearly articulated or explained by the Chamber in such discussions. Rather, the omission has created a public perception that Star Oil's advocacy is driven by anti-competitive motives, or worse still, an intention to engage in illicit practices. And they, Star Oil, find this implication deeply troubling and unfair. And while Star Oil recognizes and respects the fact that the majority of COMAC members support the retention of the price floor, they cannot understand why the Chamber is unable or unwilling to reasonably acknowledge and communicate the basis of their position, even where it differs from the majority view. And for the avoidance of doubt, Star Oil says consistently maintain that the price floor impedes the dynamic and timely transmission of real-time international product prices and foreign exchange movement into pricing of its OMC level. The same argument canvassed by the BDCs to get their price floor scrapped. This, in their view, as Star Oil, distorts market signals, weakens competition, and ultimately disadvantages consumers. It goes on to say that, regrettably, this substantive policy concern has been deliberately avoided in public discourse rather than constructively engaged. In light of the above, Star Oil believes that its continued membership of COMAC under the current circumstance rather exposes the company to reputational risk without offering a fair platform for its views to be represented by the Chamber. And it goes on to say what exactly they are doing, that they are therefore considering it is prudent to suspend their membership until such a time that the chamber demonstrates a clear commitment to balanced representation and fair communication of divergent member positions. Evans.
Interesting happenings indeed, and you remember that, Papa, this has been a debate that the CEO of Star Oil has been putting out there through social media. He was asking for removal of the price floor. We know that COPEC has scheduled a meeting to discuss this quite thoroughly. It appears the outcome of this meeting may not have gone the way that Star Oil was anticipating, which may have triggered it. We're trying to get a bit more on this. At least we've heard from the Star Oil side, they have put out a statement on this very clearly. They are suspending their membership. What does it even mean? Its implications for it. There's also the MPA question, because the price floor is a subject of regulatory supervision, and so they still cannot charge anything below the price floor. But yesterday, very clearly, on PM Express, we had from the COMAC CEO who actually told us that the price floor is something that the association had presented to the MPA to enforce PEL.
Well, but Star Oil says that the public commentary is hurting its business, has therefore pulled out of the association. As we heard from Papani, they have pulled out from COMAC. Papani just gave us, a chat on the reasons for Star Oil pulling out of COMAC. Now we are joined on the. Okay. So earlier we spoke to the CEO of COMAC, Dr. Rivers Nopon. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express yesterday, and they were against the removal of the floor price. He explains why.
The whole issue was the undercutting of price, right? Where I mean, visibly we had certain OMCs who were selling below certain prices that were uncalled for, which we knew in the industry was never, I mean, close to any break-even point. What do we see? We see this amounting to illegalities, people selling all sort of products to people just because they can price lower. We saw people evading taxes. You and I were here when Jerry made a press statement that they've impounded some vehicles who had white fuels, petrol and diesel, that were smuggled from depots that passed through that did not pass through the ERDMs. That means that they are evading taxes. So if somebody is selling these products close to you and you are a competitor, he will price under you. So the floor price was set to prevent all this. Because today, if you scrap the floor price, believe me, due to the number of OMCs and the competition, we cannot guarantee that we are going to see a sanity. I mean, it's going to see sanity in the industry. Remember, the floor price today does not include so many variables for which it still seems unrealistic on paper.
Now we are joined on the phone lines by the Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa. Good evening. Thank you for your time here on Newsnight. First of all, your reaction to Star Oil's decision to pull out of COMAC.
We've been unfair. I think we shouldn't even have gotten here in the first place. On your network, some 2 years ago in 2024, when the issue of price floor came up, COPEC, together with ASEP and other CSOs, were clear in our minds that there was no problem home. We were going to invite a problem home. There was no problem because the market was churning out its own prices as efficiently as it could. Suddenly we say some people bring illegal products and they are able to price lower, so they disrupt the market. We ask, is there no way you can check illegal products from coming into the market than setting a trade barrier? And I say this with hindsight in mind. Between 2015 July 1st, when we started the deregulation program, and May 2024, when we went into this price floor policy introduction, the system had worked. Some of the minor OMCs as Star had gone on the side of consumers to deliver efficient prices to all of us, for which today they stand at number one. If you would now come with policy to say that you cannot go below a certain threshold, when you are not the one buying the product for the OMC is problematic to the extent that, well, I may have bought my product 3 months ago. I have not been able to sell. The person I bought from is waiting for his money. If I can afford to go down just a little to be able to attract, a little more patronage to pay off my cargo, you say that you have set a floor. I should not go below the floor. I should stay there. The person from whom I bought is waiting for his money. Yet you are assuming that anybody that sells lower is selling lower because the person has got illegal product. The solution to illegal product is not price floor. It's checking the market to be sure. You can even call the OMCs individually, right? This month we've seen you sold 20 million liters. Which BDC did you buy from, right? You can do a normal audit. You don't need a price floor to be able to check that problem. So, Paul, there was no problem till the NPA decided, look, we are interested in a floor, but we are not interested in a ceiling. At the time, Star and others were delivering 9, 10 Ghana cedis. Some of the other OMCs were delivering 11, 12. They were not interested in the 12. They are interested in those that have gone down. And those companies have paid their taxes. You are aware, GRA have done their assessments of them. You, the authority, you are quite aware of how transparent their operations have been. Yet, we're making it sound as though if you want to go down further, then the excuse is that you are buying bad product or you are dumping bad product onto the market. If you want to check those who dump bad product, go to Enclave, right? Where they do the tank farm, the tank yard, no farm business. You know where to find them. So, there's no problem. We are introducing a problem. The things that Star or you CEO said are things that we had said 2 years ago. We were not victimized. Unfortunately, it looked as though, he's the problem now. And I am not surprised of the decision, although I will use your network to beg of him to reconsider, because at the end of the day, together they are stronger. But some of the things that are being discussed now, I do think that the NPA had no business at all interfering in a deregulated market where government does not owe any debt. If you come to sell your product for 3 cedis and you make your own losses, it's your decision. You cannot even go back to the NPA or Bank of Ghana and say, I have made losses, so pay me, because it's a deregulated market. But to check that people don't bring bad products, the NPA has the mandate. They know what to do to check those things. And the solution for some of us is not the price barrier or the trade barrier or the price floor. It is not solving anything, and it won't solve anything. If one of your players have come out to the reality to say that if you removed it, maybe within the window, if prices go down or if the city gains, I can still go down. But sometimes because of the floor, I cannot go. If you go down, the consumer benefits fell. And so for me, there's no way any day anybody will convince me that to set a floor and leave a ceiling, you are protecting the consumer. The consumer wants cheaper prices. And if somebody has got a cargo that they can afford to sell cheaper and still sustain in business, what is the NPA's business telling them, don't sell cheaper?
Well, we also heard from the CEO of COPEC, who spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express, that's Rivers Nopon, and he is against the removal of the price floor. And I'm just wondering, what's your reaction to that as well?
Again, I don't think that I would side with him. I would agree with him, because clearly you are defeating the whole essence of deregulation. Deregulation says that government is not paying any subsidy to anybody. So do your full cost recovery plus your profit. If you go to do your full cost recovery and you decide that for the profit, you want only 10 pesos instead of somebody needing 70 pesos or 1 Ghana cedi or 90 pesos, that is a business decision that the company should be allowed to make. The authority should not sit there and determine this, because the authority is not buying the product for the OMCs. The same situation came up with the BDCs. The price floor thing came. The BDC said, no, they don't want it. You took it off. Yet, when it comes to the OMCs, we are insisting as though without a price floor, the OMCs cannot.
Duncan, what do you think the impact of this would be on the industry?
So, If there was any impact, you would have felt it between July 2015 and May 2024. There was no impact without a price floor. We were not operating with any price floor. The market was okay. There was no issue. We are creating issues. Instead of solving the issues, we are looking for an excuse to just create a trade barrier in the name of a price floor. And I don't think that it is solving anything. It is only preventing the OMCs that are price sensitive and would have wanted to even help the consumer better from going down further, because we think that, or if we allow them to go down, they disrupt the market. But when they go up overly, they don't disrupt. If that is the thinking.
Duncan, just for a little bit of clarity, let me just ask the question again. What do you think the impact of Star Oil's withdrawal from COMAC would be, considering the fact that they are the largest OMC in terms of market share?
Well, I would use your network, really, to appeal to them to reconsider the decision. You cannot be the biggest player and you are not able. And so maybe there's been some misunderstanding here and there. They should reconsider and go back to COMAC. So that
and what should the National Petroleum Authority's reaction be in this instance?
I think that the NPA would not react because these are purely business decisions. But while the NPA sits on the fence and pretend that all is well, your most dominant player is telling you that if you did take off the price floor, maybe it is not a certainty, maybe within a window, right? They may get better differential with the dollar or the CD dollar, right? The CD could go to 9 Ghana within a window. They can be able to use that to drop their prices further. But at the start of the window, you have set your price floor and say, don't go below this floor. Who are you helping?
Duncan Amwa is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana. You're listening to Newsnight. George Uefe is here with the latest in the world of business. Before that...
George actually has more on this developing story with the Star Oil pulling out of COMAC. But there's an interesting bit to this, George, before you come in with your perspective. And George, already we're getting some additional reactions from some of the market players. But it's interesting to note, as Papa has been checking on COMAC's website, that and Pearl, you make the point about their market share. They are not just the largest player; they appear to be a very significant players within the COMAC structure itself.
Yes. So Evans, we'll come to the Board of Governors, but twice in the statement of Star Oil, they mentioned that they are the largest financial contributor to COMAC. So that is also some blow to COMAC's finances. Yes, in their statement. If you look at their website, the Board of Governors, there are two chairmen. One as the board chairman and the other as the vice chairman, and Philip Tieku, who is the CEO for Star Oil Company Limited, is actually the vice chairman for the Board of Governors. The Board of Governors is supposed to be checking on the entire COMAC on itself. So it remains to be seen what will happen in the coming days, what will happen to the structure here on their board.
And George, what has the reaction been?
Well, engaging some of the industry persons, they see the action as a little bit harsh, because there's an upcoming meeting to actually deal with some of these issues. And they were expecting that maybe that gathering will be able to offer an opportunity for Star Oil's concerns to be addressed. And if you engage some of the members, I mean, yesterday we engaged the chamber. They are quite divided on this issue. It's not just about Star alone. There are other members in the industry that believe that there shouldn't be any floor that you can't price, and there are others who also think that it should be. So it's a divided kind of...
And here's the thing. Yesterday, the NPA executive who joined me on PMS was clear, though, that they are not opposed to reviewing the price floor, and that they are open to talks on what to do with it. In fact, he clarified that the price floor, which currently is at 9 cedis 80 pesos, is not fixed. So every pricing window they change the floor.
But also the interesting thing,
that they are open to considering what to do with, whether to scrap it all together, and that conversation was happening.
And NPA has also argued that this was an industry thing. I don't know how at the last
on my show said
before
they met and they collectively decided that they wanted the price. So they went to the...
So it could be a majority
NPA,
decision. Might not be all of them. So when they decided that, this could be a strategy to deal with that problem, let's propose this policy two.
But here's the big question, though, for Star Oil. What is the strategic advantage in pulling out, considering that this price floor has regulatory backing?
But I think,
so they cannot, although they pulled out, still cannot charge below the
But
price
also,
floor.
it's very critical to make that point that it is not just Star Oil that is pushing for
But
this.
others are still
They are
within Comac.
other.
They are staying in Comac to fight.
Maybe it is the biggest player,
okay.
so it has the voice to champion this.
And here's the thing.
But there are other players who are pushing for it to also be removed as well.
And the next few days will be interesting. If the largest player has pulled out, will this be a trigger for other smaller members who possibly didn't have the courage to now take that decision to say, if Star had done it, man, it's possibly time for us.
I think there's already work in progress to try and bring him back to the association.
Okay. You have more on this, George.
Well, coming up in business, we're bringing you some highlights of the issues with respect to Star Oil's announcement of suspension from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. And government rules out planned increase in cement prices, insisting the current industry regulations places some restrictions on manufacturers. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials. Cintas tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Shout! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Hey, Anjua. Challenge these days, new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank. And that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle. And the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better, Pa. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider.
Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I day aside, Fidelity.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
For many years, we've been solving Ghana's water storage problems with quality tanks. Syntex tank. You know, it is strong, it's tough, and reliable. And now, we're in to solve the number one problem when it comes to water carriage: our pipes. With the state-of-the-art machinery, Syntex is providing very strong, tough, reliable, high quality, and durable pipes at a reasonable price. This is Syntex Pipes. With Syntex Pipes, water flows wow. I mean, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. If they carry water, no wahala. With Syntex Pipe, our water problems are solved. Syntex, are you strong? Are you tough?
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to News Night. That is business on News Night. Now, some industry persons have described the action by Star Oil as harsh. That is because the association had kickstarted the process to address some of the concerns that they've raised when it comes to this floor price problems. They believe that they are still working to ensure that Star Oil is brought on board. They see this as a normal issue and therefore shouldn't be seen as out of hand. We'll be going online to actually engage the chief executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Riverson, upon with respect to in terms of getting his thought on it. But let's bring a recap of some of the issues that was highlighted in the letter issued by the Star Oil to COPEC.
The company expressed concern that its position has not been fairly acknowledged or accurately communicated, particularly during recent media engagement by the Chamber's chief executive. According to Star Oil, this has contributed to negative public perceptions, creating the impression that its stance is driven by anti-competitive or improper motives. The company describes such suggestions as unfair and damaging to its reputation, given its long history and contributions to the industry.
And that's a wrap of the letter that was issued by Star Oil to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Let's get on to the line and speak to the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Riverson. Doc, good evening and welcome to Business on Newsnight. So for you, what do you make of this action by one of your biggest players in the industry?
Yeah, we have received the letter as well as you have. It is unfortunate. No two ways about it. But we acknowledge it. We are going to respond tomorrow to Star to express sincere acceptance to what they've sent, and then also proceed with management of Star to make them understand where the position of the chamber and the industry is. The chamber is there to represent the industry. So even me myself, I cannot just take a stand with my individual view. And like I always say, this floor price came even before I became the CEO of the chamber. And I have been briefed with the history around it. There are issues with challenges. I mean, there are challenges surrounding the implementation, no doubt. Just like any other, I would say, policy that we have in the downstream sector. And if you were at the downstream dialogue last year, in February, we tailored the conference or the workshop around the issues that face the industry, and it's one of them. So we are aligned with the review of the implementation of the floor price. Today, the subcommittee of the board of the chamber met, and we've tabled certain concerns which will be sent to the board for ratification and acceptance tomorrow, after which our press will be released.
Okay, but Doc, just a quick intervention, please. If you go through the letter that was sent to you by Star, they raised some critical concerns for the action. Do you accept these concerns that they raised in the letter?
So the concerns is that they Star feels that the floor price should be scrapped, and for that decision to be taken, it goes through hearing and all sort of consultation among members. So we cannot say today then let's scrap it.
Just
Because
the
the
quick one,
purpose
but
for
Doc,
which-
just a quick one. They raised the concern about their views has not been shared by the chamber in terms of fair representation about the concerns that they've raised, and they don't feel welcome at home. Let me use that expression.
What's the concern? You know it. You tell me. What's the concern of Star Oil?
That their concerns about the floor price issues that they've raised has not
So
been
what
well
is their
represented
concern?
by
It's
the
on social
chamber.
media. You sorry. Star Oil concern is that the floor price should be scrapped. It's a public statement. We have all read it. You and I have read it. All right. The implementation is the problem. And Star Oil CEO, who is a board member of the chamber, unfortunately today, is aware that even the chamber has written several times to MPA, and instructing our members to adhere to the floor price. And in our recent letter in December to MPA, we even stated that if our members are not adhering to the floor price, could it be that the industry is not accepting it? Do you get my point? So that means that the review of the implementation is key. The BDCs fought against floor price, but today they have regretted. They are going back to MPA to ask for floor price to be added to their policy. So dropping it or not dropping it cannot be a yes or no answer. We need a lot of interventions towards it.
But Doc, because of it,
if you have
OMCs time on our side.
who are
Yeah, in 30 seconds, I just want to find out from you. Have you kickstart the process to bring him back to your fold?
Oh, the letter came today, so we are responding tomorrow.
All right, that was Dr. Rison Opon. He is the chief executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, giving us some update on this issue. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, George Yafi, for the latest in the world of business. It's time for sports, and Benaya Dafia Mekpo has the latest.
Now, the 2026 Joy FM Big Walkout will take place at the University of Ghana Stadium car park on Saturday, January 21, bringing together corporate Ghana and the public for a high-energy morning of fitness and health. My colleague Muftar Nabila Abdullahi has the details.
As an institution that places the wellness and fitness of our clients at the center of everything we do, the Big Workout is actually designed to have our clients, corporate organizations, and individuals join us on January 31 at the University of Ghana Stadium, where we are going to have some few minutes of walk, then we return to have aerobic session. Some of the best fitness trainers will be available to take us through the walk, where we're going to start from the University of Ghana Stadium. We go all the way up towards Presec, then we curve towards UPSA. When we get to the UPSA runabout, we'll take right and head toward Bawaleshi. From the Bawaleshi traffic light, then we'll turn inside Okonglo to the traffic light at Okonglo and back to the stadium, where the aerobic session is going to take place. So it is going to be a day of fun, a day of networking, and a day of exercising.
That's it for sports.
Well, Benaya, thank you so much. Let's bring you other stories tonight. And the majority in Parliament has shut down calls by the minority for the removal of Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Kojo Ablakwa and Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Smith, dismissing the demands as baseless and politically motivated. Well, the majority insists the minister and the ambassador remain fit for office, despite concerns raised over recent U.S. visa restrictions affecting Ghana. And Evans, before we go, let's read one of the comments sent in by our listeners. This one from Nana Ekuyamwa Boatin in Ablikama Central reads, I must applaud Star Oil for suspending its membership with the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. COPEC appears to be insensitive to consumers. If it were truly consumer-focused, it would not set a price floor for its members. Star Oil is really there for the consumers.
And that's it for Newsnight tonight. My name is Evans Mensah.
My name is Pearl Ofori.
And Akofa is up next with Strong and Sassy. What are you talking about?
Yes, so because it's the beginning of the year, our first show coming back, we're just easing our way in and we're talking about taking care of you. So from the women's perspective, what are some of the things they do?
Think of you. Who is your you?
We the women.
Think of yourselves.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of us. Okay.
No, we'll talk about you guys some other time.
Okay, next week. This is my popular request.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.